So LeBron has been in the news over the last few days for some comments that he made about Memphis, right? The fact that he's 41 and he doesn't like to play in Memphis and he doesn't like to stay in this hotel that everyone is talking about, this Hyatt hotel. I don't know what it is. I don't know what he's referring to, right? I stayed at a Hyatt this summer in London. It was a 5-star hotel and it was absolutely fantastic, right? It was called, I can't remember the name. It was fantastic, but maybe there's a bad Hyatt that he has over there, right? Anyway, was it Hyatt? No, was it Hyatt? I can't remember. Anyway, so he was complaining about that. And a lot of black people got upset with LeBron that he was going after a city like Memphis, which historically has a lot of history in terms of civil rights. And people did shows about it. I didn't do a show about it, but a lot of people did. And one of the people that called him out was Stephen A. Smith, right? Stephen A. Smith, he called out LeBron, and he was basically going at him for essentially reverse racism here. So what we want to do is we want to play what Stephen A. Smith said on his show originally, because it ties into what Shannon Sharpe said here. So take a listen to Stephen A. Smith's comments.
It's a bunch of white dudes on a golf course, knowing the cameras are rolling and videoing you, without any regard for what kind of effect that would have on a black populace is problematic. Especially when I don't know if it was your sneakers or whatever it was that you just finished promoting months ago about black history and Martin Luther King and civil rights. I think you wore sneakers or something commemorating all of that. When I spoke about what this city needs in order to look out for the vast majority of its citizens who happen to be black that are living there. I did it right here on the mic and the cameras, with the cameras rolling. Dead serious as hell. Because I ain't trying to let nobody off the hook on that. I wasn't dressed in shorts, lollygagging on a golf course with a bunch of peeps that don't look anything like the folks that reside in Memphis. That's where it was foul. That was my take on it earlier this morning. That is still my take on it today. LeBron wasn't all wrong. LeBron said some very wise and on-point things about that. But other stuff was foul, particularly how flippant he was in saying it without any regard or sensitivity to black folks in Memphis. Especially when he's got his I Promise school in Akron, Ohio, specifically designed to help uplift and improve the lives of black individuals and beyond from impoverished neighborhoods in that area. He clearly has sensitivity to those folks from his hometown. One would like to believe he has the same level of sensitivity to those folks everywhere. And I'm sure he does. It just didn't look like that on the golf course with a bunch of white boys surrounding him. Optics matter. Appearances matter. And words coming out of LeBron James' mouth about such a sensitive subject required a little bit more seriousness to the subject, not just as it pertains to his words, but also his surroundings. And that much needs to be said.
So you heard what Stephen A. Smith had to say. So he says that, right? And then one of the people that decided to respond to it, what funny enough, was Matt Barnes. Matt Barnes did on, I think, went on his phone or something like that on Instagram. And he responded to Stephen A. Smith, and we even did a show about it. Cool. Then LeBron was asked about it, I think at practice or after practice or something like this. And he essentially doubled down. He was like, people are saying I don't like black people. What does this even mean? He's like, I'm just talking about the city of Memphis, or not the people of Memphis, the hotel or whatever it is. And then he even talked about how he doesn't like to go back home to go back home. I think he's from Akron, Ohio, or whatever. So he doesn't like to go home there, whatever. So he gave his reasons, right? So one of the biggest LeBron supporters and defenders in media probably the biggest between him and Nick Wright, Shannon Sharpe, caught wind of this entire conversation. And the person that was really pushing this conversation is Stephen A. Smith, right? He's the one. He was the one. He even did a show about it. And Shannon Sharpe went out there and decided to respond to people like Stephen A. Smith. And I believe he was speaking directly to him because he's the one that's been pushing the story and has the loudest megaphone about this story. So we want to play what Shannon had to say in response to people like Stephen A. Smith and others that are pushing the story. And then want to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen. Take a look at what Shannon had to say here.
He said it out loud.
Yeah.
He said it out loud. But you know what? This is why Michael kept his mouth shut.
Yeah.
And y'all criticize him because he didn't take a stand on nothing. LeBron is taking stands.
Yeah.
And a lot of these guys didn't take stands, and you beat them up. So when the man is honest, so in other words, if you like what he's saying, yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. But if you don't, shut your mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't have it both ways. You just can't, people. You can't. I understood what he was talking about. He said, bro, I'm 23. I don't want to play in there. He can't, I mean, for the most part, I don't know. Joe, you could speak better than this because in football, I didn't go out. I didn't go out to the city. I didn't go when we got to Ocho. You know, we have a whole lot of damn time. We ain't get there till 4 o'clock. You got damn meetings at 7:30. So it ain't like you got a whole lot of time to do anything. I'm assuming like if you get there early enough for the city, y'all probably want to go out to eat, and he's probably like, man, I really can't go out to eat. LeBron ain't going nowhere without his guy. He got his guy with him. Man, Randy is always going to be with him, and he always has a security guy with him.
Yeah. You ain't going
I think, Joe, honestly, I think he was talking about, man, when you get used to something and then all of a sudden, like, the way we grew up and what we ate, we can eat that now if we wanted to.
Right.
But we tried to get out of that situation because we don't want to eat that because we have to.
Right.
Well, LeBron is like, bro, I done got used to this, bro. I ain't trying to stay in no regular king room. King room suit me just fine.
Yeah.
Hey, Jordan, we got enough room to set up? Yep. I'm good. That's all I need. I'm just, hopefully y'all don't get the bed in the background. Other than that, hey, it is what it is. But me, I ain't gonna never be too big to stay at one of them.
Yeah. Hey, well, I will tell you though, you ain't going out doing nothing in Memphis nor Milwaukee. You're not going out in those cities. Period. You may not even.
Memphis, Milwaukee, are they open past 10? Is anything open, Joe?
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you.
10 o'clock?
Yeah, that's kind of like Utah. Yeah, everything.
I would at least say 2 a.m.
Oh, hell no. Milwaukee?
Yes, everything closed. I mean, I'm assuming, hey, if either the cutoff is 2 a.m., yeah, it should be 2 a.m. everywhere.
I just think the thing is LeBron is that he's just a hot button. And no matter what he says, they talk about, well, he said it, look who he said it in front of. So if he said it if he'd said it in front of me, Joe, and Ocho, y'all wouldn't have felt that way, huh?
I mean, listen, it hit the same way regardless of who he said it in front of. It's just the fact that he's the one saying it.
Yeah.
Right message, wrong messenger. That's all.
The problem is that you always want guys to say, you want him to jump out on topics. We'll talk about this, talk about George Floyd, and talk about this, and talk about Philando Castile, and talk about Eric Garner, and talk about Sandra Bland, and talk about this. Okay, he talk about that. But the moment he say one thing that y'all don't agree with, off with the head.
They take it and run.
What about all the things that he said that he stood on? What about the millions of dollars that he gave his hometown of Akron for people to go to school?
Yeah.
Don't nobody remember that unless it benefit them directly.
Great. So you heard what Shannon had to say. What are my thoughts about this? When LeBron said it, personally, I didn't care. Because I made a joke about it on the channel. I put a post on the community section. But I didn't care. Right? Because it wasn't a show. It wasn't a topic for me that I felt strongly enough personally to do a show about. That's just me. Now, a lot of people are upset with LeBron. I'm talking about blacks now. They said they're calling him, he chucking and jiving and all of this other stuff. A lot of people are getting on him. Why did his voice change and why are you switching it up and blah, 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 as they call it, code switching and all of this, right? People going to get upset with him. But look, I think the people that are getting upset with LeBron, I feel like y'all don't understand the dude. I feel like I don't know, maybe LeBron has marketed his way to you guys one way, and y'all feel he's this kind of civil rights leader or whatever. And then some of y'all are like disappointed. I'm confused. Why do y'all feel this way? When Kyrie Irving was going through that madness, what did LeBron do with the Jewish community? What did he do? LeBron fans just pretend like they didn't hear. They threw him under the bus. He threw him under the bus. When the whole black community was defending Kyrie, what did LeBron do? He threw him under. And I remember some LeBron fans saying, man, you a sucker for this, LeBron. You a sucker for. He threw him under the bus. So I don't understand why these black people like, unless y'all are believing this dude is a civil rights leader, and all, then for cool, have at it. I don't think that. Some of y'all think that. I don't think that at all. So I didn't feel a kind of way about it. In terms of the way he talks, I've seen him talk like that many a times. Right? Maybe he's just blending. Right? He's just blending wherever he is. That's probably how he I don't know. I don't know him. I feel like this offended the people that thought really highly of LeBron as a social right, like a civil rights leader, and like maybe that's what they think. Right? Maybe I think it's them. People like me didn't care. And let me break it to y'all. He don't care if y'all don't like it. He doesn't care. He don't care. He doubled down. He doesn't care. So y'all can feel, oh, he's doing this bad and he betraying the black. He don't care if y'all think he did. He doesn't care. If he did, he would apologize. He would have said, maybe I made the wrong statements. I can understand how some people feel offended by. He didn't say that. He doubled down on it. So y'all just need to get over it. Sorry that LeBron broke your heart. Y'all expected too much from him. Right? Y'all expected way too much from him in the first place. Even in the sound, I think Shannon was talking about Michael Jordan didn't say this and Michael Jordan didn't say that and this and this and this and that, because Michael Jordan is not a loudmouth, man. When Michael Jordan is building hospitals and all of that, he doesn't need to advertise it and put all the, he just does his thing for people. He doesn't need, he doesn't do it for people to clap for him. He just does it because out of the goodness of his heart. But that's MJ. There are people that do things for the spectacle of it. When they do something good, they like to show you. They give money to a poor person. They record it on Instagram. Look at me giving money. Like, come on, man. Like, it's corny stuff. So I feel like the people that are upset about it are the ones that expected all of this stuff from LeBron. In terms of what Shannon Sharpe is saying, bro, just say Stephen A. Smith's name, because that's who's pushing this whole thing. He the one. He was the one at the forefront talking about a black man saying this in front of white people. Like, come on, man. So, like, just say it. That's what you're talking about. That's exactly what it is. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, leave them in the comments, and we catch you guys on the next show. I'm out. Peace.